TheMikeMagazine.com, bringing you only the best exclusives in entertainment news.
Hey, Mike Magazine, it's Mike Spurlock here in Indianola, Mississippi, doing what I do best. See y'all. I start with raising the standard at home because this is where it starts. Yes. There was a young boy named Timmy who went with his dad to the gym one day. Timmy's dad was in another part of the gym handling business when Timmy ran in asking, "Dad, come and watch me dunk." Timmy's dad thinks this is impressive since my son is barely 4 feet tall. Timmy's dad watches him get the ball, he dribbles, and dunk the basketball in the hoop. Timmy's dad claps and says, "Good job, son." Minor details of the story are that Timmy had the janitor let the goal down low enough so he could dunk. Timmy's dad told the janitor to let the goal back up to where it was intended. Timmy's dad said, "Well, son, keep trying and come get me when you can." Somewhere along the way, this was us. The goal began to be too high, so we let the goal down so we could dunk the ball in the hoop. Are we getting anything accomplished on a 5-foot goal when everyone else is playing on a 10-foot goal? The standard has to be raised back where it was intended, starting at home. We have to teach our children discipline because first it starts at home, and if you don't teach them discipline at home, they embarrass you out in public. Men, real men, where are we in the world today? Real men have to stand up and take their place back at the head. Men have to take their families to church and be leaders and not followers. When I was younger, it was a must to go to church on Sunday, be in every program, and be at every revival. If you from down south, you know that was, as long as you breathing, you going to church. Church is not in the homes, and it has been taken out of the schools. God is not important anymore. We're just living life, and God is not in our lives until we are in a whole lot of trouble or we need something. God has to go back to being everything in your life, not just something. Men, I start with you in the home because there's where God started. God made us first, and the head and not the tail. Men, you have authority over your house, but you have to be physically there in order for it to be real. Fathers, we have to teach our boys there's more to a woman than what's between her legs. Being a man is not about how many women you sleep with, but being able to wait until you're married to have sex. I was once a child living life thinking I was untouchable, not taking any consideration the consequences of my actions. And at the age of 20, I had my first child. Not married, and that's when the game changed. A real man can wait. That's a real man because that takes discipline. Women, teach our daughters that if a man says, "If you love me, you will have sex with me," before marriage, is not real love. And you do not need to be with that man. Women, teach our daughters that it is okay to wait to have sex when you are married. Women, let our girls know there are consequences in having a child at a young age. Love on that child, love on that child, and let them know it's not the end of the world, but you have just forfeited the rights of being a kid anymore. Now you have responsibilities. Thank you. Love is not the mother saying, "Give me that baby," because you don't know what to do, what you are doing. You're making it okay to have 3 or 4 more kids because mama will take care of them. Parents, we have to not make it okay. Fathers, it starts with us. We must raise the standard to get our kids to do better and to help give them a better living than we had. The standard starts with the man because God created him first, showing him the importance. Men, we have to take our place back because it takes a real man to raise a boy into a man.
Spurlock, not going to be before you long. It's an honor to be before you today. You did speak with the youth on today, but your speech was geared more towards the parents and the leaders of the city. Can you tell me a little bit why that was?
Because I mean that's where it started. The kids didn't get here just by chance. You know, they got here through a man and a woman, so that's where it starts. And it's a parent's job to, raise them up and get them going on the right foot and discipline them. And the teachers are just pivotal pieces in the puzzle. So that's why I geared it toward them.
Thank you so much for being here in Indianola. Let me ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as far as your career is concerned? I know you've been with the NFL for 8 years. Yeah. That's a good thing. Woohoo, Michael Spurlock.
Yes. I want to play long as my health stays 3 or 4 years or better. But we just bought a funeral home, and we're doing that. We live in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and just whatever it is to help the youth and to just progress, let them know some things that we've been through and things that we've seen. We just helped send kids at Ole Miss to Panama on a mission trip just to, we take for granted everything that we have. To see what other people call, greatness or happiness, we take it for granted just to give us a different outlook on life.
How does it feel to be back home?
It's always good to come back home. It's one place that is always good too. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. It's always good when you're the baby. So I come home, get a home-cooked meal, kind of get pacified a little bit. But I mean, it's happy to bring my kids, and now it's more about them. So me and my wife enjoying.
All right, and I did speak with your wife, and we have new additions. And when I last talked to you guys, you only had 1 baby, and now we got 3 in all, with 4 girls.
Yes, 4 girls total. So my house is very busy.
And that's awesome. And thank you so much for your time. Tell me a little bit, one more thing. When your dad introduced you, how did it make you feel? He talked about how the doctor called and told him he had a precious little baby boy and all of that. And
it's surreal, a lot of people don't have that father. To have my father in my life, to have him 60-something years old, 66 years old, and still able to come watch me play, and still able to sit at the table and eat dinner and talk and just have fun. So I mean, it was surreal, and happy to have him introduce me. It's just one of those things that you just cherish.
And thank you so much for the interview with the Mike magazine. It's been great.
Thank you so much.
You need to come on now. Okay, so I get home, I got to rush my wife to Greenwood. 75 per hour was not fast enough. We got there, so I sat till late in the evening. He finally came. The doctor called and said, "Mr. Spurlock, you have a big, healthy baby boy." I said, "Thank you." When the mother got through and finally got where she could talk about it, she said, "We're going to have a king going to games." And he's 66 over years old. He hadn't played or kicked the ball, thrown the ball, or nothing. But anyway, she thought that hadn't come to fruition. Michael started playing soccer when he was 3, which was too early. But he played because he could kick as well or better than some of the players that were old enough to play. This young man integrated the Dixie Youth through draft, went on to help win the state championship, and among his peers and coaches was chosen as the MVP. He matriculated at Gentry High School, later on to University of Mississippi at Oxford, where he received a degree in criminal justice with a minor in business, and is presently pursuing a master's degree in business. A young man who told his high school principal at the time he graduated that one day he wanted to be the CEO of his own company.
All right.
He's putting some things in place to hopefully, after football, to do that.
All right.
Michael is married to Danielle Moore Spurlock. They have 4 girls. His wife has 3. They have 4 children, all girls. A lot of women in his life. He's fortunate so far. My youngest brother has some, but he still has his hair. My youngest brother has no hair.
Angela Simpson here, the voice behind the mic.